Welcome to Toy Hill Studio. My name is Kendall Kessler. I'm going to do another skyline painting of San Diego. And I think this will be the last one. I've done several and I don't want to do a whole lot again like I usually do. Please check out this series on my website. There will be a link to them. I do so many different kinds of things. And I keep trying to come up with new things. This is the first time I've done something like this, where I am offsetting the skyline with some elaborate calligraphic line systems. And I have a feeling this one's going to take a while, so I'm probably going to start it here and finish it off camera. See what happens. I'm going to use a fairly small brush, and I'm going to try to really get some interesting things going with these lines first. Calligraphic line, which is where we get the art of calligraphy, is a line that is very stylized. Sometimes they're real definite, like in calligraphy, and then other times they're just kind of loose and fun. And that's kind of I prefer that they really just keep changing so that they never get monotonous. And this time I want to really try to do a whole lot with red and green, because as I've said many times, that's my favorite system of colors, and I've really gotten into kind of a pink thing, pink, blue, and yellow thing, and I want to get back to what I like the best, which is red-green contrast. So I'm going to do a lot this time with that. I really like this series. Done a lot with it, but may move on to something else next. I may do a different skyline, or I may just move on to something else. I like to switch around. My latest oil painting is a flower garden. That's my main stuff. But I really don't want to do the time lapse, as I've said, and I don't really have to for my oil paintings. They take a long time, all that drying time. I've already put in quite a number of hours into my latest painting. So I'd rather just do these acrylics, where I sometimes using like watercolors, sometimes more like acrylic. This is kind of in between. Right now I'm not using it real thin. I'm not letting it bleed a lot like in watercolor technique. But just going to try something different. And as I said, I really think this is going to really take some time. Just getting into these lines is going to take a while. I think I'll go ahead and go around it right now because, as I've said many times, I really can't see what's going on with color when you have white glaring out at you. So go ahead and put that in, where I can see this one really going into some time. I have a feeling I'm not going to get a lot done, but I'm just going to keep my eye on the clock. I don't like to go more than like 20 minutes. Real pleased at the people that watch these whole things. I guess I shouldn't say that. I certainly want people to, but good grief. Some of them are so long. And that's really nice. I really appreciate that. I try to do that too, but God, there's so many people. As I said, the way I keep up with everyone is to go through my comments list. And every time I see a comment on one of mine, then I go to theirs. Works out real well that way. Okay, well, now I'm liking it a whole lot better, because now I can see the colors working with each other. And just do an arbitrary color this time. I am not like doing sky colors. I am just really just playing with the color and reacting to it, of course. Art is such a fascinating experience, and I really do live to paint. And as I've often said, can't take them with me, so I work real hard to promote them. That does take a lot of time. God, you can practically live on the internet these days. And because I do that, I see so much of what's going on in this world. That's a little scary. And I'm not going to get into political affiliation, but I do hope that everybody votes. Be sure that you're registered, because I think one actor saw on Twitter, Jason Alexander, said he thought he was registered, and he checked and found out he wasn't. So, make sure that you're registered and that you will be able to vote. We're going to go to the registrar early because we want to make sure our vote gets in there. We have very strong feelings about this election, and we're just going to go right to the registrar and make sure our vote gets in. We don't really want to wait in line anywhere in the at the voting polls. We really don't want to do that, although Dr. Fauci said that he really didn't think it's going to be that big of a problem to do that. Still makes me nervous. Oh, I'm actually really liking this. It always helps to just let it go and not think too much. I know that might sound strange, but one thing I've learned over the years is you can really overthink art and then you don't let anything happen. And then it gets stiff. It looks like you're laboring and just trying to control it too much. That may sound strange, but if you paint, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You have to really balance between control and accident. And you notice I'm just going in and out of these lines. I'm not worried about that. I just want that calligraphic effect. It doesn't have to, certainly doesn't have to be that exact lines I drew. Okay. Yeah, that's what I really like. Red and green contrast. So that's more yellow. It's kind of an orange color. But it's getting some really interesting things through there. Well, I've only gone 5 minutes, so maybe I'll at least get one layer done. And it's kind of going slow, but not that slow. I always have trouble getting the reds I want with the acrylic. I don't know why that is. Oh, that's better. I just, they tend to dull out. Same thing with several other colors. I've pretty much used the same palette that I use with my oil paints, although it's a little different. I don't usually have such a pink color on my palette. I really like using the pink in these paintings. Well, this is coming along. I know I keep saying every time, I'm going to do one real complicated, I'm going to do one real complicated, and really, even though they've turned out okay, I haven't done a real complicated one in a long time. This one is, I have a feeling, really going to do it. But then it takes a lot of time, and it may take a lot of time off camera. We'll see how it goes, but it's moving along pretty well. Okay. Yeah, oh, another thing I wanted to say, because I'm just, like I said, I'm so concerned about this election, is be sure you check things. I'm seeing all kinds of things on Facebook that are just blatantly false. If you look into it, one person put up that 60 million people died in the pandemic flu and under 6 for this one. Like, what? That is completely false. Be sure you check these things if you're basing your political affiliation on claims like that. That's not true at all. I forget the number, but it wasn't anywhere near that. I think it was in the thousands, and here this person's claiming that 60 million people, that's a huge percentage of our whole population. It did not happen. And I think that person should be very ashamed for putting that up to try to get people to vote for his candidate. Very ashamed. Good grief. Mama taught me to tell the truth. And except for when someone has a crummy hairstyle and wants me to tell them what I think about it, I'm sorry, I'm not going to say it's ugly. Other than that, I believe in telling the truth. I think it's very important, and I think there's an awful lot of lies on the internet. Just terrible lies. Blatant lies. And I have a hard time believing that the people putting them up there don't know what terrible lies they are. Okay. Moving along here. Getting some interesting patterns that wasn't really planning on. They're coming together. Probably going to have to go back into this and reestablish the skyline. That's a cool effect. Still not as complicated as I like it. If you check out my oil paintings, you'll see super. I mean, just every little bit is a different color and a different texture. Okay, I think I'll go ahead on the skyline. I've already gone 10 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and just do that. And I wanted to do the same thing, which is get complicated. So I'm still using a pretty small brush, but not a tiny brush. And I want to do some different things, though. I think I'll get real strong with some colors so that they don't get lost with what I've done at the top. So I'll probably really keep the value down, keep them dark, and do that. Like I said, I'm probably going to to go back in and reestablish the exact skyline. There are so many different ones. In San Diego, there's so many different views. Like any city, you see so many different effects with the skyline at the angle that you're looking at and all that stuff. Okay. Well, yeah, see, I'm definitely not losing it. I'm liking the color, but I'm trying to get so fast that it's very polychromatic, but I'm not so sure the colors are working that well yet. That might be something I do off camera. Let's see, going pretty far. Let's see, I've gone 11 minutes, so I better get moving here. So I can at least get one layer in. And if I really like it, that will be the final layer too. Well, it's got some really nice things going on. Some really nice vibrant effects. I want to get done before my guys get back. I wouldn't like to have a slamming door while I'm painting in the video. I really need to learn more about this. I don't have the time. These people that have these really fancy intros and all, they're really nice. But I don't have time to learn all this stuff. I guess I ought to try a little more. Start looking it up. I really don't want to do the time lapse, but someone did say they wanted to see that. I mean, I really like to talk through it, probably because of all those years of teaching, 20 years of teaching at Radford University, where I would do demos, very fast ones though, much faster than this. And I talked through them. And I really like doing that, and I got lots and lots of compliments for the way I taught. I'll never forget this one guy. It's like, good grief. It's like I opened up a whole new world for him. He was so fascinating. He must not have had much art where he was from. And he just flipped over my hands-on approach. And that was nice, because I taught so much art appreciation. I taught other classes too, but I taught so much art appreciation. And of course, a lot of students there, they're just taking it because they have to take it. They got to take some kind of elective in the arts. And it was a real challenge to get them to really appreciate art and get interested in it. And I think I was quite successful, all modesty aside. Really high evaluations and a lot of compliments directly from students, and that was very nice. Okay, wow, it's already gone 12, well, close to 11 minutes. Let me just see if I can get the water in. I was thinking I was going to do something that was really kind of fading in and out, where even though I have this in the water, I was going to do the reflections. But I've got so much to do today, I might not do that. Every day is the same to me. People that see the weekend as the weekend, well, not me. Every day is a lot of work. Fortunately, I do what I like, but it is a lot of work. And there are other things I do, and of course housework and meals and everything. Never ending. So I never feel like I really get a day off. And now with this awful pandemic, we don't even get to go to the beach. Boy, I miss that. We always would go down to South Carolina and stay there for a few days, and oh, I love that. I truly, truly love the beach. Even if I don't go in the water, I just like walking along in the sand and looking at it and seeing dolphins. And one time I saw a whale, which I thought was so fascinating. It only happened once in my whole life. And I was sorry that it has only been once. That was fascinating to see that whale. I've always been interested in marine biology. My sister said one time, I'm kind of surprised you didn't go into that. If I didn't like art so much, that's what I would have gone into. I just am utterly fascinated with what's in the water. Okay, well, it is 14 minutes, still not 20, so I'm going to fill in the bottom part, and then I will decide whether or not I want to make it even more complicated, because to me this isn't very complicated. But I did have a lot of red and green. I do want to do that very much. And really play off those two, because I wanted to have something different. The last two are rather similar. I like the way they turned out, but they had pretty much of a similar effect in the way the colors were handled. And I wanted, oh, there we go with all the pink again. Wanted to do something different this time. And I am running out of time. Probably just go back into all this. Yeah, I like having the water kind of red. It's an interesting effect. Yeah, this one's really taking some time. And it would take a whole lot more time if I did it more like if I do my oil paints. With my oil paints, I use a little tiny brush once I get the design going and the values, light and dark areas. I use a tiny brush, and it takes a long time as I get really complicated systems of color, which is the way the world is too. I mean, it's not like I'm making anything up so much, it's just that I'm getting so much of what is there and then putting in my personality. I know it's kind of hard to understand, but those of you that are artists, any artists watching, you know what I'm talking about. That it's not just a matter of trying to reproduce something, it's a matter of putting yourself into it. It's the same thing that happens when someone bangs on the piano or really knows how to play it. It's not just the notes, it's how they're played. It's so much easier to explain these things in music than art. I remember a friend of mine who taught also at Radford University couldn't understand why people didn't understand abstract art. And he said, it's music without words. It made perfect sense to him, perfect sense to me. It's not superior to paintings of things. It's just music without words. You either like it or you don't like it because of the way it looks. Just like you like it or you don't like music that doesn't have lyrics. And that always made perfect sense to me even when I was a little kid. But, you know, we're all different. We all have different understandings of things. And got 17. I want to quit real soon. We are. Oh, that's nice. I like having that real strong red-green contrast. Yeah, I'm really emphasizing that. More green in the abstract sky area. Then red, and down here I'm doing more of a red effect, which I like, because I did want to get into that. I was thinking though something more subtle though, and as I said, more kind of like surreal or something. But I think this will be fine. These YouTube ones are always very experimental. Not that I don't care how they turn out, I always do. But I am trying to let more things happen than some of my other work. Okay, I'm going to quit real soon. It's 18 now. Wow. Oh, I knew this one was going to really take some time to get the first layer. I think most likely I will be going back into it. So I'm just going to do a little bit more by adding some blue-green down here. Yeah. Really get something sparkling going down here. And completely cover all the white, which is going to take another layer too. And then I'm going to quit. Yeah, that's what I wanted. A lot of red, green contrast this time. And that is what I got. Still have some pink accents, but not that yellow, blue, pink thing I did on the last one. Trying to do something a little different. It's always hard to stop. Always hard to say, I'm going to quit now. But I'm going to do that. Okay. Yeah, I do think I'm going to go back into this and emphasize the red-green contrast and make it a little more complicated. Thank you for watching. Be sure to click on the link in the description to see the final painting, and please look at my other Skyline Beauty series. Also, I have work on Etsy and other sites. Thank you.